Hey guys, this is Mr. H. Hey, I'm going to do a couple questions from the review for third quarter benchmark. There are some things on here that we've covered, but some of the things we haven't covered in as much detail as I think we needed to. So I'm going to go over a couple examples. I'm not going to do all of them, but I'm just going to jump around and do the ones that I think are useful. So here's the first one. Basically, they've given us two functions, and they want to know where these two functions are equal. The best way to do this is to use your calculator, graph them, and then find the intersections. I put up here menu 64 in case you've forgotten. So all I'm going to do is I need the functions. So I'm just going to go here, enter absolute value. It's x plus 1, and then minus 3. Minus 3, and then press enter. Let's see. Oh, I put a z in there. Not a good start. Okay, that's supposed to be an x. Okay, and then you press enter. It's just a absolute value. Now I'm just going to enter the second function. So it's a fraction, 1 over 5, and there's a linear equation. Positive slope, positive y-intercept. Right, now there's two intersections, so this is going to have two answers. Now, whenever they ask you for to find where they're equal, it's usually going to be the x value that you care about. We don't care about the y. So I'm going to do menu 64. I'm going to start on the left, and I'm going to go until I see the word intersection. So one of the intersections occurs at a -5, and then let's go get the other one. Do menu 64 again. Come over to the right and do that one, and you can see that the other x value of the other intersection is 5, and then you just submit it. Right, so basically whenever you're given two functions, make sure you graph them. That's the best thing to say. So let me get rid of this. Let's see where do I want to go next. All right, here. All right, now this one, basically what you're going to need is menu 23, but whenever they tell you, let me write this down. So this is 4 square root of 10 and square root of 5. So I'm going to show you how I would do this. So we're going to be multiplying this. Now, what we're going to do is you just multiply the coefficients. So the coefficient is 4 and 1. It's 4 times 1. And then you're going to multiply the radicands. So this is going to be the square root of 10 times 5. Right? So this is going to be 4. This is going to be 50. Now we just have to simplify that. So from here, remember, we can simplify any radical. We go here, and we just do menu 23, and we put in 50, and we see that it's 2 times 5 times 5. So that means we can take out a pair of 5s, and it's going to be 4 times 5, and then we're left with 2. So our final answer is going to be 20 square root of 2. So let's go and answer that. So our final result is going to be 20 square root of 2. And that's irrational. How do I know? Because it has this square root of 2. Remember, if you take the square root of a non-perfect square, it's always going to be irrational. And we cannot write it as a ratio of two integers. And it doesn't terminate and it doesn't repeat. So that's what you're doing there. All right. Now I'm going to do, let me see if I can find there's another one in here. All right. Now this one is kind of similar, except that now they're doing the sum of two radicals. So let me kind of go through this real quick and show you what you need to do. All right. So let me pull up my iPad. All right. Now this is, if I had 3x plus 4y, there's nothing that I can do with those because they don't have the same variable, right? Now, the reason that I started with that is it's very similar when you're trying to add radicals. If the radicand part is not the same, then you can't combine these. So the radicand has to be the same. Now, so what we're going to do is we're going to look to see if we can simplify this 12 3 is already simplified. It's just a prime number. So let's see if we can simplify this. So I'm going to use menu 23 again. So grab the calculator. I'm going to do menu 23. I'm going to put in 12. And that's 2. So this is going to be 2 times 3. And hopefully you start to see that I can pull this 2 out. So this is going to be 3 times 2. And I'm left with the 3 inside. So, yeah, it's kind of delayed here. All right, so now here's what I've got. I got 3 square root of 3 plus 6 times the square root of 3. Now, the radicands are the same. So now I can combine them. All I'm going to do is add the coefficients and then keep the radicand. Just like it would be 3x plus 6x equals 9x. Same thing. This is going to be 9, 3 plus 6, and then you just keep the radicand. Now, again, one more thing. The radicand has to be the same if you want to add or subtract them. If they're not the same, then you got to see if you can simplify one or both of them until they have the same radicand. But if they don't, then there's nothing you can do. Like, for instance, if this was 11, there's nothing we could do. It would just be 3 square root of 3 plus 3 radical 11. Those are both prime numbers, so there's nothing that we could have done with those. But in this case, we were able to simplify and we were left with the radicand of 3. That's why we were able to come up with this answer. So let's go back and go ahead and finish this. So this is 9 radical 3. It's irrational, again, because it has a non-perfect square in the radical part. It cannot be written as a ratio of 2 integers, and it does not terminate or repeat. So both of those were irrational. Let's see, is there anything else I want to do? Let's see here. I want to keep this to under 10 minutes, so let's see. Yeah, here's one. Now, we have not formally looked at the exponent powers, but you guys do know how to use the exponent property, so I'm going to show you. This is kind of the old school way, but this will work. All right, so here, basically, you should know that this exponent tells you how many times to multiply the base. Now, in this case, everything inside the parentheses is considered the base. So this is telling us we're going to have 4 copies of what's inside the parentheses. So there's 1 copy times another copy times another copy times another copy. So we have 4 copies of the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Now, all we're going to do is, if you want to, you can expand out the x's too. I'll go ahead and do that. That means there's going to be 2 x's, 2 x's, 2 x's, and a y, 2 x's, 2 more x's, right? And then we got this. Now, so this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is going to be a negative 4 to the 4th power. And then we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 x's that are being multiplied together. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 y's that are being multiplied together. So now all we need is what's a negative 4 to the 4th power. Again, let's use a calculator. So if we go a negative 4, and notice I put that inside parentheses. Oops. To the 4th power, that's going to be 256. So our answer for this one is 256 x to the 8th, y to the 4th. So 256 x to the 8th x, oops. I'm not using the right thing here. I was using the calculator. I needed this. X to the 8th. And then y to the 4th. Right? And then we press enter. And it says, nice job. So like, even though we haven't gone through the exponent properties, we do know how the exponents work. Let me see. Let's see. Let's try one more of those. Okay. let's see here. So now we have a negative 2xy to the second to the raised to the second power. So just as we did before, we're going to have 2 copies of what's inside the parentheses times a negative 2x. Now we can go ahead and expand the y's out. Right? These are all multiplications, by the way. All right, so now we can simplify it. So negative 2 times a negative 2 is going to be a positive 4. We have 2 x's, so that's going to be x squared. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4 y's, so that's the 4th power. So that would be our answer. So it's going to be 4 x squared. I keep doing that. I need to get rid of this because it keeps throwing me off. It's x squared. And then it was y to the 4th. All right, is there anything else that I wanted to do in here? Let's see, what's question 11 look like? Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna do this one and this is gonna be it. So look, this is just a function and they've given us an input. So all you should do is go to grab your calculator. You can enter that, you can graph it. And so we're gonna need a stack fraction. And then we do the square root of 2x plus 3. And then in the denominator, 6x minus 5. Now, the key here is make your calculator look exactly like the problem, right? So once you do that, press enter, and then we're just going to use menu 51 and type in the input that they gave us. So I'm going to type in 1 divided by 2 to indicate that it's a fraction, and then I press enter. So it's telling me when the input is 0.5, which is a half, the output is going to be a negative 1. So our answer for this one is just going to be a negative 1. Okay, that's all you're doing. Okay, that's it. I think that's it. All right, so I only did a couple questions. I did the questions that we might not have covered that thoroughly, or it's been a while since we covered them. But if there's anything on there that you want me to do a video of, or if you're like, Mr., I don't know how to do these kinds of questions, or I don't remember how to do these kinds of questions, please let me know. And then either I'll work with you or I'll make another video. But I'm going to stop and I'm going to post this one.